Hello everyone and welcome once again. We're going to be getting into more Final Fantasy 16, and before we get started, I'm going to give you a little brief update, a little catch-up if you will. No mustard. Spoiler territory obviously because we're this far into the game, but let's get caught up. When last we saw Clive and the crew, Cid unfortunately fell during a very intense battle. After that happened, some time has passed, and now Clive has taken up the mantle as Cid the Outlaw, and the hideaway has been under reconstruction. After a brief journey to Cosnus to try to save a group of branded, unfortunately, after a victorious battle, Clive and the crew were rejected. They were not taken in as saviors, and they were not accepted for their valiant effort. Instead, they were shunned, for it is believed that to be associated with them would only bring calamity. But despite this development, Clive and crew are not going to give up on the dream that they're passing on to themselves about Cid. Telepathetic, thank you for the follow and welcome in. Well, Divissimo, Roche, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and hello. And for everybody coming back to continue to watch the playthrough, thank you very much for the support. Absolutely, deeply appreciated. So let's go ahead and load, get you a little caught up, and let's continue, shall we?
That night 5 years ago, we destroyed what for many was a symbol of hope, for a reason they'll never know. We cannot blame them for thinking us the cause of their misery. Though it's to give them a better tomorrow, they see only that we've made their lives harder today. Yet the boil must be lanced if it is to heal.
I can't help but wonder if we've made the right choice.
When Cid said that he wanted to create a world where we were free to choose our own path, I honestly don't think it mattered to him if that choice was right or wrong. Only that it was our own.
I miss him.
A world where we can live and die as equals. That's what he wanted. What we want. And that's why I bear his name. It's why we've all chosen to bear his legacy. And I'm not going to let anything stand in our way.
Rides over, lovebirds, home sweet home.
Telepathetic, you called it with the awoo. And here we are, we've arrived. Home, sweet home.
Otto was asking after you. Let's go and see him.
Never a dull moment.
Welcome back, Cid.
That long so we can call it a morning.
I like to imagine this guy's going to be here for a long time. What's up, fat man? Welcome in.
Otto will want to know what happened in Cosnus. I expect he'll be in the mess.
Again! I seen schoolboys swing harder.
Look, it's Sid.
Staying long this time?
Ah, there you are, Clive. Word of your adventures arrived this morning. Victor sends his thanks.
I doubt Kupka will miss the fools he sent to catch me. Not a single one of the bearers we saved showed any interest in coming with us. No one seems keen to join hands with an outlaw. Any news while we were away?
None worth mentioning. Gav's still off keeping an eye on the Republican army. Should be back any day now.
Understood. If anyone needs me, I'll be in the map room.
Still can't work that one out. There must be better places than the hull of a gutted airship to bury your nose in a book.
Yet this is where she's chosen to be. And I'm sure she has her reasons.
Oh, well, I'm so glad to see that you survived, my friend. And yes, I would compare this very much to a modern ease game, the way that it operates. That's what it makes me think of quite a lot.
Lady Tyre is performing a delicate operation and must not be disturbed. I'll let her know you called.
No one works longer or harder than our Otto. You can scour the whole of Storm and Ash, and you won't find a better man.
Escape from the slave markets. How'd you manage that? I had some help, but it was mostly luck. The others weren't so lucky.
Good day to you, Sid.
Charlie says I can't go and play until I finish my sums.
Nearly half the crates were lost to
This plank will have to be replaced.
Back, are ya? Things here ain't too bad.
I've got a decent hammer, a decent anvil, an apprentice that knows his hammer from his cock. Oh, and the furnace is all right and all, thanks to old Sid's bellows. The gods only know how I'd keep the coals hot enough out here on the mere without them. Not with bloody crystals, that's for sure. I reckon you won't find a forge like this one anywhere else in the Twins, and I count myself lucky to work it. Thanks for keeping me on. You need anything, you give us a shout.
You've forgotten already, because I haven't.
It was a right pain in the arse getting this place back into shape, especially with the mess we were in. Not that it was anything new for those of us who put the old hideaway together.
Still.
That'll mean I intend on doing it again. Chartreau, good evening, hello.
Not bad, if I do say so myself. That it? Fine.
Fancy new blade. Stylish. We always try to keep up with the height of fashion. Chartreau, we are hashtag blessed today.
Once the hall's swept, it's over to the tavern.
Created the day Clive pledged his allegiance to Cid, this crystal shard transfixed with twin daggers is a powerful reminder of a promise made, a friendship forged, and a legacy inherited. We're gonna have some goodies up on the wall, eh? Well, I look forward to seeing what we collect in the future.
Everyone seems so happy to see us. It's good to be home.
I trust I'm not intruding.
Back from your mission? I'm beginning to think your habit of surviving cannot be attributed to luck alone.
One might say the same of you, Vivian Ninetails.
I'll have you know that only 4 attempts have been made on my life, and none was especially memorable. So, to what do I owe the honor? Could it be that you've come for one of my lessons?
Is that so hard to believe?
Very well then. Shall we start with the state of the realm? To absolutely no one's surprise, she finds herself at the mercy of armies and outlaws. Well, mostly armies. Though that's not for want of trying, is it, Clive? But the real question is, how did we get here? Long though Sambrek's dominion over northeastern Storm has endured, recent days have seen the Blight wrest ever more land from her grasp. For which reason she has continued to wage war on her rival across the strait, hoping to claim less blackened pastures. But Odin would sooner pawn his sword than Waloed relinquish Ash. And the Empire pays dearly for every blade of grass bent beneath Sambrequois boots. Little wonder then that Sylvester set his sights on the crystalline dominion, an altogether easier target, possessed of no less ether. It was 5 years ago, while you were busying yourself with the destruction of Drake's head, that the Empire made its move, subjugating its theretofore neutral neighbor, a nation which could legitimately claim to be the center of the world. Certainly, there is no better place to stage an army. From there, the Holy Empire's reach spans the Twins. The non-aggression treaty was the only thing keeping them in check. But if they truly broke the pact without provocation, it is only a matter of time before others reply in kind. The Holy Empire, the Dhalmekian Republic, the Kingdom of Waloed, and of course, our friends in Yaran. Who will be left standing, I wonder, when the last drop of blood is spilled?
You were born in Twinside. Do you not fear for your home?
Oh, dark clouds are wont to gather over the Dominion. Yet in spite of it all, she has ever endured. And when the storm has passed, I am confident she will remain. Now, as to the matter of payment for today's lesson, complete a simple errand for me and we shall consider ourselves even.
Even? Right.
Return this volume to old tomes in the shelves. Tell him it was adequate.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to visit our resident historian.
Now, I hope that you were all taking notes, because yes, that is going to be on the test. Before we start doing our quests, I'm going to take a small little break and grab some H2O, and we're going to get knee deep into it and keep rolling until the steam runs out.
GX 搭載リアルバトルシミュレーション SG
Norseman Harpocrates.
Now that is a name I have not heard for a long time. So long, in fact, I had half forgotten it was mine. Welcome home, Clive. You were missed, as always.
I believe this belongs to you. Vivian asked me to return it.
Already? Our resident scholar devours books faster than young Tet does lemon tarts. Would that I could do the same. But alas, I no longer possess the necessary constitution for such indulgence, either in words or tarts. That said, I have continued my search for mention of the creature you encountered at Drake's Head. But without access to the great libraries of Oriflamme or the Dominion, I regret that I have been able to find little and less. I am sorry.
Please, don't apologize. I'll send word to our associates. See if they can't furnish you with more books.
I fear it is not more books that I require, but the right ones. Mayhap we look in the wrong places. There are still libraries to the north.
I'll see what I can do.
You are too kind. There are not many in this world who would indulge the whims of a tired old historian.
Not too tired to go filching Kupo nuts, though. Always got a pocket for him. Nicks him off the Moogle.
Hush now. We all know there's no such thing as Moogles.
The twins seem well.
Aye. yet they laugh far too little for one so young. The loss of their parents weighs heavy on them, however well they hide it. Titan took much from us that night, from some more than others, and the wounds that remain, they are not quick to heal.
Which is why we must give them all the time they need.
That we must. Just as I must give you the time you need to recuperate. Good day, Clive.
Good day. Gav will be back soon. I should get some rest while I can.
I'm sure that Clive would argue that Moogles are real. We seen it.
Not back a blink and you're already off solving everyone's problems. It looks good, Clive. Goes well with the scowl.
I'd had that brand for so long. I'd forgotten what life was like without it. What it was like to be myself. And it's all thanks to you, Talia.
The scalpel did most of the work. Ah, before I forget, a rider was here with a letter from Gav. Otto left it on your desk.
Otto stole us. All right, I'll have a look.
And then you get some rest.
No, I'm almost 100% certain there's got to be some Tarja artwork out there. Just saying.
Does that one have blood on it? Is it business or pleasure? We won't hear me complaining.
It's even roomier than the old one was. Got my own stores, my own little counter, and thanks to you lot fighting the good fight, plenty of demand for me wares.
The only drawback...
The constant bloody racket. If it's not Doris and Otto barking their orders, it's Blackthorn and Bardolph banging away day and night. Oh. It's like that, is it?
Still...
If a pain in the ear holds the price I have to pay to be Sid the Outlaw's partner in crime, I'd say I've got myself a bargain. Has it really been 5 years since we left the old place? How time flies.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
We were all waiting to treat Sid to a hero's welcome when Koka's lot turned up. Not that we knew it was them. They just poured in like a plague of rats, cutting down anyone and anything that stood in their way. Blood and bodies everywhere there was, and a voice crying out for Sid to save us in the midst of it all. I'll never forget those cries. Try as I might.
You're our leader now, Clive.
Promise me you won't let anything like that happen again. Promise me that come what may, Sid will save us.
Going purse weighing you down? You're rubbing me blind, you know. You'll not find a better price than that.
Have you been to the toll?
Otto was here earlier with a letter from Gav. He left it on your desk.
So Jill hangs out in our quarters, eh? The game gets better and better every time. The Republican army marches on the Empire at Twinside, and the men of the Rock have been summoned to the front. Something big is brewing, I reckon. I'll see you're done to wear upon my return. Sincerely yours, hugs and kisses, Gav.
What does Gav have to say?
The Republican army is on the march, leaving Randalar in Hugo Kuka's charge. With him and his men occupied with the defense of the capital, they're less likely to trouble us.
Good news, then.
It's more than that. This is our chance, the one we've been waiting for.
But look how far we've come. All that we have here, our friends, the hideaway, are they not cause for joy?
5 years. 5 long years. If I could only command this power I've been granted, we might have achieved so much more. But each time I reach for it, it's like something is holding me back.
Summoning an icon exacts a price not easily paid. Your body knows this only too well. It's merely trying to save you from yourself.
And every burden I cannot bear falls to you.
This mission of ours has made me question everything I thought I knew. But one thing has become abundantly clear. The crystals take more than they give. In exchange for momentary comfort, we must endure a lifetime of pain, war after war, loss upon loss. And now they rob us of our very homes, leaving naught but dust and ash. But you're trying to change that. We're trying to change that. And to me, that's no burden.
I know, but...
Try not to forget. We're only here because Joshua gave us a second chance. It would be a pity to waste such a precious gift.
He did. He was there. It wasn't an illusion. I heard him call out to Ultima. If Joshua is still alive, he'll be looking for that thing.
Do you think he will ever come back?
I know he will. And we must be ready when he does. To a world without mother crystals.
Better watch out, Clive. I know she spiked it.
To Sid.
You know what? Never mind, man. Just roll with it.
And so the North is lost.
I knew that the Blight spread ever more swiftly, Your Grace. But this is far, far worse than any could have imagined.
It is only a matter of time before the twins are no more. The world marches ever closer to its end, and here we chase shadows. Tell me, brother, are our efforts in vain?
Master Clive, a moment, if you... my apologies, I didn't mean to... intrude.
Not at all. We were just discussing strategy.
Speak freely, Otto.
It's Martha, from the inn. She's gone missing. Anyway, I'll be in the mess when you've finished.
Very well. What would make Martha leave the rest?
If something has happened to Martha, we need to speak with Otto.
Man, Jill, I don't know what we would do without you. Thank you so much. What's up, Gulping? Welcome in, man. Yeah, I've got my fancy new sword. Look at that. Ooh, ah. Thanks everyone for coming by and hanging out. Much appreciated. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Nice chill times, doing some gaming.
What do we know, Otto?
Some lads from the Imperial garrison in Rosaria started a fight over at Martha's Rest. Blood was spilled, bones were broken. The usual. But somewhere in the middle of it all, Martha vanished without a word to anyone. And that ain't like her, Clive. Something's not right.
You think this was planned?
Of course it bloody was. Ever since Eastpool, the Empire's been tightening its grip round the Duchy's balls. They've strung up everyone who's ever set eyes on a runaway, claiming they're traitors to the Holy Throne, conspiring to restore the House of Rosfield to power. And now it sounds like the bastards have turned their attentions to the pallbearers meek enough to stay put. Naturally, old Martha could see the way the wind was blowing, complained that it was getting harder and harder to take bearers in.
And now she's missing. If she's fallen into the hands of the Empire, we could be next.
Couple of curse breakers are already on their way to the inn. They should speed up the search. But if this is as bad as I think it is, you might end up having to save their asses and all.
Don't worry, Otto. I'll make sure everyone gets home safe.
And once again, look at this cutie. Moogles have always been adorable, but this is next level cute. I mean, look at those tiny little feet. I know I pointed that out before, but you just want to squeeze him.
And how may I assist you today? One would think.
My role was abundantly clear by now. I offer you and yours the guiding light of knowledge, that of matters military and political, both past and present, that it might illuminate your way ahead. For it is only by understanding what has come before that one might steer one's way toward a brighter future. Your role, meanwhile, is to ensure that I remain furnished with as much information on the state of the realm as your people can muster, in order that I might continue to appraise the dispositions of the great nations and those who rule them. And of course, to pay attention during my lectures. It would not do to appoint the storied Nine Tails as your tutor, only to disregard her expert advice.
I admit.
When I took up my professor's bonnet and began teaching at the University of Canver, I did not think for a moment that I would one day count Sid the Outlaw among my pupils. But nor did I imagine that my fellow educators would have designs on my life. And we both know how that ended. Has it been a year already? Such is the peril of an overly inquisitive mind, I suppose. One is wont to uncover that which others would go to great lengths to ensure remained hidden. Were it not for you and our mutual friend having come to my rescue, my curiosity would likely have proved fatal. But instead, I was not only saved, but granted a new lease of life, as personal tutor to a band of outlaws, no less.
A far more reputable fellowship
Than anything in the academic world, I assure you.
My beloved homeland.
The crossroads of Valisthea, where one only has to stroll the streets to hear news from every far-flung corner of the realm. Its mother crystal yields more shards than any other, and its lands even now remain untouched by the blight. It is a blessed country indeed.
Or at least
it was. Until Sambrique elected to invade and establish a new holy capital upon Twinside's heretofore neutral shores. It pains me to see the land I loved so changed, and even more to know that I did not predict it. I knew that Emperor Sylvester had designs on the Dominion, but to abandon Oriflamme, the seat of the Holy Empire since its inception, seemed too audacious a move even for him.
Allow me to educate you.
By speaking with Vivian in the Hideaway's map room, Clive can view the state of the realm and learn more about the current goings-on in Valisthea, revisit any of the Nine Tails' past lessons, or take a deeper look at the relationships of those individuals in Clive's orbit. So another way to deep dive into the lore, you've got the active lore system that you can look up anything at any given time while you're playing the game, about things that are going on within the game, people that you've interacted with, people in your party, bits of lore about items, creatures, etc. And I suppose there's this as well. A comprehensive grid of important persons and their respective relationships. Here you can view a detailed visualization of character relationships in Final Fantasy XVI that updates as you progress through the main scenario. Now, obviously, I'm here for one important reason. Clive's faithful friend, Torgal, brought back from one of Archduke Elwin's expeditions to the frozen northern territories, where he was found half-starved and shivering in a snowfield, having presumably been separated from his pack. Elwin gifted the puppy to Clive upon his return, and the two became nigh inseparable. Clive's faithful friend, nigh inseparable. You see, it's weird how they do the lore. They have like different perspectives with a little bit of similar text, but a little elaboration at the end. So it seems repetitive, but it's an interesting and unique way to do it. Until the tragic events at Phoenix Gate tore them apart. Oh, there he is. Look at him all grown up and majestic. Clive's faithful friend, now fully grown. After the tragic events at Phoenix Gate, Clive believed that Torgal was lost to him forever. However, their paths were to cross again some 13 years later when Torgal's new master, Cid, came to Clive's rescue in the depths of the Nissa Defile. Despite their long years apart, the two knew each other as if not a single day had passed since their separation. In the intervening years, Torgal not only grew into a fine hound, but met with Cid, who trained him to work as a hunting dog. After meeting with Clive again, Torgal gladly returns to the service of his former master. He is fiercely protective of him and his allies, loath as he is to lose his best friend again, and never strays far from Clive's side, putting the hunting skills Cid taught him to use in fending off foes and picking up trails, because that is the best boy.
Is ever changing, Clive.
If you need volunteers, just say the word.
seen schoolboys swing harder.
Finish with that.
Welcome back, Sid.
Damn blighted bilge. Is everything all right?
Aside from the holes in my hull, everything's roses.
The lake water doesn't agree with it, then?
That's one way of putting it. And unless you got some grand scheme to suck the black from the lake like we do in the atrium, that slurry will keep eating away at the timber like young Tet does our lemon tarts. Suppose a coat of pitch might stave off the rot for a moon or so, assuming we had any pitch, which we don't. Not any bloody more.
You know, complaining is not going to help.
More than a dozen runs left in him.
Of course, Obolus. Your skiff is our only means of reaching the mainland. Without it, we'd be lost.
Well, I'm glad someone round here sees it that way. To make
Hello,
this
Zeal. Welcome into the action. Glad to have you.
But in case you haven't noticed, live trees are one of the 1,000 things sorely lacking in the Deadlands. Now, I'm not so unkind as to ask you to fell a faraway forest and lug the logs back here to the mere, which is why we'll be needing a suitable alternative. And it just so happens I once heard the thorny pitchers of Curltail Falls cover themselves in a sticky wax to trap birds and beetles and whatnot. Might be enough to tide me over.
Sounds easier than felling a faraway forest. That's for certain.
We're going to have to caulk that ship. Guys, we're going to have to grab some caulk. Anybody here ever grabbed caulk and caulked anything? Don't lie. Here you go, Roche, a little action for you.
Easier than felling a forest, I said. Trees don't have teeth.
Over here! This one.
I can't imagine Obolus needing any more than this. Time to head home.
Oh, it'll be time to head home after I've done a little grinding. And I don't see nothing wrong with a little FF grind. Dak, what's up, buddy? Good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing, man?
Stay down! Over here! Get so!
Well, I'd never seen him do the kick move before. You learn something new every time. AV, welcome in, hello. Yeah, watch out, Jill. Don't get too close, not right now. AV, I see what you did there. That's a multi-layered joke, and I do appreciate it.
Throw your weapons down if you want to.
Rush Pirate, what's up, homie? Welcome in. Rush, there's a great news. The expansion the DLC, the upcoming stuff for Elden Ring, seems like it won't be too far off. They've promised that they're going to release it before they release the new Armored Core. So I'm very excited about that.
Finish with that log. Welcome back, Sid.
Well, did you find me some wax?
Find is one way of putting it.
Ugh. Reeks like a chocobo's arse. I don't suppose the Argo will mind as long as he stays above the waves.
Argo? So your boat has a name? I didn't know.
Yeah. Same as my old man. He was a ferryman himself back before the Blight came. The boat's all I have left of him. And thanks to you, he'll sail another day.
You can't tell me that they didn't do that on purpose, by the way. The name of this quest is too good. 10 out of 10. Rush, I've really been enjoying it. I've made this comparison a lot, and I will continue to do so. It reminds me a lot of a modern Ys game. Like the last 3 that have come out. Very similar in a lot of ways, from the combat to the way quests and everything work. So I don't know if there was inspiration drawn there, if it just happens to be coincidence. So it's sort of like Final Fantasy, DMC, and Ys blended together. There's a little bit of everything to enjoy. I understand some of the divisiveness, but at the same time, I'm fine with it. I've been enjoying it quite a bit.
What happened here?
Come on. We need to find the others.
I'm sorry, Sid. We were too late. The Imperials have already left.
We're best off staying where we are for now, I reckon. The boys from the garrison might still be near.
Let's get you to a physical, shall we?
Sid? What said you'd be coming?
I trust you don't mind. Also thought you might need some help. And it appears he was right.
You, could say that, yes. They're saying the Imperials descended like a storm. No one was spared their fury. Martha tried to step in and calm things down, but all our efforts got her were a pair of iron shackles and a hard march.
Any idea where?
Judging by their tracks, they headed towards Sorrowwise Bay.
To the Abbey sheltering Martha's bearers.
The bastards. Jill and I will go after them. You take care of the people here.
We will. But, before you go, one of the locals heard something. He said the soldiers were talking about a culling. I don't know how big this is, but it doesn't sound good. Be careful out there, Sid.
You do the same.
Cole is right. That was no tavern brawl. It was a message.
But a culling. Bearers are the property of the Empire. The garrison wouldn't have the authority to act alone. The orders would have had to have come from higher up.
What are you after? That all, is it?
Oi, look sharp! Good to see you, Sid. The soldiers who did this are long gone, I'm afraid. We're doing what we can to treat the wounded.
When I first saw that guy leaning back like that, I thought he was having himself a wee.
You all right, boy?
Alright, I knew that something was missing from this part of the playthrough. Now we're good.
If those Orsons touch an hair on Martha's head, I'll kill them all myself.
Look. Up ahead. Martha, are you hurt?
Don't worry about me. It's them at the Abbey who need you. You have to do something.
Tell us what happened.
What happened? The damn Black Shields, that's what happened.
The Black Shields?
The bastards caught wind. The Abbot and I were helping bearers. They were gonna hang us both. When the sick rose from their beds, poor souls turned on the Imperials. Distracted them long enough for me to get away.
Then they may still be alive. Martha, do you think you can make it back to the inn? Cole is there with the other curse breakers.
I think so. Thank you, Clive.
And you too, Jill, I guess.
Black Shields. Is this some sort of twisted joke? There has only ever been one Order of Shields in Rosaria, and they fought to defend all her citizens.
Seems a step too far, even for the Empire.
Farewell.
Are we too late?
There might still be someone inside.
No.
Damn it. I thought you lot were all spent.
Murderers. They drove the bearers to this.
Wait. These two aren't turned.
That bitch of an innkeeper must have sent them. Colluding with the enemies of the Empire is a serious offense.
And for their crimes shall they be punished. Such is the law. To dwell in darkness that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these our swords we swear.
How dare you speak those words? Have you no honor?
Clive.
This won't take long.
You're right about that.
Is that all of them?
I think so. I didn't see the abbot. He may still be alive.
Found her.
The abbot.
The bearers died protecting him. Calling upon what little magic they had left in their bodies.
Clive. He's breathing.
We're friends of Martha. We're here to help.
Are the Imperials dead?
They are. Every last one.
If only that were true. The Black Shields will return. The cullings will continue. Rosaria will never be saved unless we save her. Tell Mother to beg Sid's aid and tell her this wasn't her fault.
I shall.
Sid! Where are you? Sid!
In here! We found a survivor!
Clive. He's gone.
We've laid the abbot to rest. But the bearers... they didn't need to die like this.
No, they didn't. But it was their choice. They knew the fate that awaited them and chose to meet it on their terms, fighting for those who fought for them.
Martha said they rose from their beds, threw themselves at the Imperials so she and the abbot could escape.
I've gathered the bearer's remains. We should consign them to the tide.
There's a drawbridge not far from here. Reddick's Jump. The currents there are swift. If the abbot was still with us, he'd have taken the dust there himself and performed the casting. I'll get someone to...
I'll do it.
Of course. Cole and I will remain here and see to the Imperials.
Well, hello, what do we have here? Every now and then, Clive may encounter creatures larger, faster, and more ferocious than most. While flight is always an option, defeating these notorious marks can earn him not only renown, but also rare materials that may be used to craft new gear or upgrade existing items.
Something has spotted us, Torgal. What am I saying? Of course it has. It's a floating eyeball.
All of these mobs and bosses that we fought so far, and this is where we get an exciting, intense battle. Okay, game, I see you.
You didn't see that coming. That must be the bridge. So shall the waters cleanse thee of thy burden, and bear it out to sea.
And now they are truly free.
I hope so. What of the Imperials?
A pyre was made. It's more than they deserve. We should go back. Cole is worried about Martha.
All right.
All right, AV, good luck with your adulting. I know that that's always a downer. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
We're best off staying where we are for now, I reckon.
No one survived then?
I'm sorry. Before he passed, one of them bade me tell you not to blame yourself.
Doesn't mean I won't. Doesn't mean their blood's not on my hands. Cole said you cast their remains. That was good of you. But it should have been me. This was all my fault.
How? You couldn't have known.
But I did. And I turned a deaf ear to the warnings like the fool I am. The rumors started moons ago. Of black-clad devils descending on villages in the dead of night to slit the throats of sleeping bearers. But I assumed it was all just nonsense concocted by the Empire. Nothing but a ghost story meant to make folk think twice about lending a hand to a fugitive bearer.
And in ordinary times you would have been right. What these Black Shields are doing is unthinkable. Which begs the question, why do it at all? My mother obviously has a hand in this. I cannot make sense of her actions.
And picking what goes on in that woman's head is a job for someone with more time on their hands. Right now, I need swords and men to wield them, preferably big ones. If those Imperials
Size Queen
come in here again and threaten my people, they're in for a rude awakening. Oh, before I forget, a Stolas from Otto landed just before you arrived. He asked me to tell you that Gav has returned.
Then we must as well. Will you be all right here, Martha?
We can stay longer if you wish.
No need. I'll be ready should the Imperials come calling. Though I wouldn't turn my nose up if you were to lend me a pair of them strapping young curse breakers.
We're not to move. Go and make your moves.
Oi!
you handy with that sword of yours? Course you are. Bet you're a bloody marvel with the thing. Now, question is, are you willing to use it or not? 'Cause a flock of noble chocobos are in need of help.
Chocobos?
You heard me right. Wild birds? Hmm?
Like the one right here?
Ones? And not just any chocobos at that. Whiteheart and her flock are the bravest birds you ever did see. They protect travellers round these parts from bandits and the like.
Chocobos? Fighting bandits?
It's true. Why, they saved me from a gang of footpads only yesterday. Nasty lot they were too. And now they're back, looking to settle the score. Well, go on then. Don't just stand there. Go and help them.
All right.
There's a good lad.
Where can I find these chocobos?
I saw him cut across the way over yonder. The rotten scoundrels were driving the poor things towards the old dock. It's a dead end, that is. You save Whiteheart and her flock, you hear me? There ain't a pluckier bird in all the world. She's a hero to us locals. And don't worry, you'll know her when you see her right enough.
I'm sure I will.
And good luck to you. And give those no-good bastards a hiding from me.
Whiteheart. That's quite a name for a chocobo. A white feather. I thought Ambrosia was one of a kind. Speaking of brave birds. Looks like they went that way.
This one. Over here.
These chocobos aren't going down without a fight.
We got you cornered, Feathers. You didn't think you'd seen the last of us, did you? You've been bad for business. But I reckon someone will pay good coin to mount your head on their wall.
Not around here, they won't.
Oh? And why's that, eh?
Because she's something of a hero in these parts. You hurt her, and I hurt you.
Piss off. Or better still, how about we hurt you both?
All right then. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Snugglefry, what's up, man? Welcome on in. Check out these burbs.
Safe now. White Hart, I presume. Do you know her, boy? That scar. It couldn't be. Ambrosia. It is you. You survived. And you found yourself a flock.
Oi! Is it over? I thought I'd come and see how you were getting on. Oh, you sorted the bastards then. I knew you would. And the whole flock made it through unscathed.
Thankfully, they did. And not only that.
Well, I'll be. I never stopped to think our hero here might once have been someone's mount. Though I dare say she'd suit a fine fellow like yourself. Reckon our feathered friend must have learned a thing or two from her master. Kind-hearted warrior that you are. Bird like her would have cost a princely sum. You born a lord or something?
Well,
Oh no, sorry. I didn't mean to pry. Don't matter who you are. You done right by me.
What is it, girl?
She wants her master back, I reckon. Told you. And it seems her pals agree.
Is that it? You want to come with me?
Well, bugger me if this ain't a heartwarming sight. The lads down the stables will be hearing about this tonight. Oh, stay right where you are.
Ba 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 ba. Dude, you get a cool eye patch. Best chocobo ever.
Doesn't she cut an handsome figure, eh?
She does indeed. How much do I owe you?
A few scraps of leather's the very least I owe old Whiteheart. Oh, I'll be sad to see her go, of course. But she's earned her right to happiness and more besides. Don't you worry, we'll get along just fine without her. You hear that, Whiteheart? You've earned yourself some time off. You have fun traveling with your master now. You seem awful familiar now I get a proper look at you. That's it. When those chocobos swarmed my cart on the road, didn't you? No, that can't be right. That fellow was a bearer.
Must have been my double.
Oh, must have been, eh? Oh, that'll be the excitement getting to me. Silly sod that I am. Pay me no mind. Anyhow, best be on my way. Good luck to the both of you.
You take care of your flock for now. I'll call you when I need you.
Ooh. After 18 long years, Clive has finally been reunited with his faithful steed. Hold R3 while in the field to summon Ambrosia, and X to mount. Let's fucking go.
Ready, go?
What a majestic creature. Yay, Jill gets a chocobo too. You're a natural, honey. You look great.
No need to ride from here. Now, where's Gav?
I hear there's trouble in Rosaria.
Ah, Clive! How I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to
That is
occupy the
massive.
Dominion after the fall of Drake's head? And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first?
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
Well, the two nations beat their shields. The rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the Mother Crystals. Four Mother Crystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dhalmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rossfield.
Lord Byron Rossfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities. Wait, Rossfield. And you're a Rossfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune, along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
As I always like to say, what could possibly go wrong? The following hideaway facilities are now available. Ba-da-ba-da-bum. Oh, a hunt board. Ooh, ah.
What are we waiting for, indeed?
On autumn's breath,
ill tidings born, an erstwhile home in twain are torn. Now in his path fell shades abide, pray let them not impede his stride.
Think it's alright to touch him?
I don't know. You go first. That broom's as ragged as...
So Mather's alright.
Oh, Clive! Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
The Patron's Whisper? Does that mean someone else is taking care of our friend's donations?
Oh no, that's still me. It's just Karen has her toll, Blackthorn has his hammer. I thought a new name might liven things up. I still catalogue every item that arrives, in addition to setting aside those tokens of appreciation the sender has specified are to be presented to you personally. Would you like to see if we have any? Business is busy.
On top of my regular duties here at the Whisper, Otto's piled countless other tasks, from transcribing and sorting Stola's reports to pinning needful missives. Not that I'm complaining, mind. I enjoy writing. I've ever since I learned my letters from Jara back in the old hideaway. I won't claim to have been his best student, though. That honor goes to Shirley.
Still.
I like to think Jara would be proud of me, too, were he with us today.
Words are immortal.
They live on in others, and if the words are your own, so too will you. Do you know who told me that? It was Jara, in our last lesson before Titan came. It stayed with me ever since his passing, and inspired me to become what I am today. I imagine we survivors all have a story like that, of someone who remains with us, even though they're gone.
Is everything we've received and everything promised? Come again. I may have more for you.
What's the matter, Nectar? The hunt board? It's where the Cursebreakers post sightings of particularly fearsome beasts. Those that might pose a threat to our operations if they were left to roam free. Just because they can't be dealt with when they're spotted, doesn't mean they can't be dealt with later. Was that what you wanted to know? Right. Well, leaving your mightiness aside for the moment, the people of Valisthea are going through a lot already. What with the Blight and the war. The last thing they need is ungodly fiends terrorizing them on top of everything else. So if the Cursebreakers are too busy to help, then perhaps I can. Or at least I can try.
Oh, what are you trying to say? You calling me stupid? I'll learn about your adventures later, my friend. What do you got going on? Reports of fiends terrorizing the countryside are posted to the hunt board in hopes that fearless heroes, such as Clive, will take it upon themselves to hunt down and slay the notorious marks. Well, we already took care of that one. The Angel of Death. A trader coming by the way of Caer Norvent met with a troop of curse breakers traveling in the opposite direction and warned them of a wicked winged harpy on the road ahead, his eyes wild and flickering. Though the curse breakers saw nothing untoward on their own journey through their pass, the sound of cackling laughter from the trees ensured that they kept up a brisk pace. Oh, you look cool. Belphegor. Reports have been received of a wild avis of striking size, making its nest atop the hill adjacent to Eastpool. Though all efforts are being made not to rouse the beast's ire, it is surely but a matter of time before it needs to feed. I hereby petition any brave volunteers to march to the northern border, that we might cut the fiend down before it makes trenchers of the nearby villages. So I'm assuming that we will just find them in the wild as we go along. We got one itty bitty quest here. And of course you're all the way over there. Let's go.
You think it's alright to touch him?
A saddle and blinders crafted specifically for Clive's childhood chocobo, Ambrosia. Even after being separated from her master, the noble steed served the people of Rosaria in his stead, protecting the defenseless from the merciless, just as a good shield should. A bird by any other name. Forgive my insistence on writing you these silly letters. Would that we had more time to speak to each other in person, but for every day we spend together it feels as though we must suffer another two apart. I'm gladdened to hear of your most unexpected reunion with Ambrosia, or should I say Whiteheart. You told me once how Chocobo sacrificed herself to protect you that night at Phoenix Gate. And here, so many years later, we find she has spent her life doing that exact same thing, defending others. Some things never change, do they, Clive? Sincerely yours, especially after 2 a.m., when everyone else is asleep, Jill.
Is there something I might assist you with, Clive? I have a few new notes that might interest you. What subject shall we consider today?
Your uncle always seemed a kindly soul, if a little eccentric.
So matters all right.
Here for another of my lectures. Going so soon? And you say Sid built this place?
Did you come through the forge today? Smells like... How much water can a flower drink?
Won't be long now, Martel. Sid, I was hoping to speak to you.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah, it's just, well, as you know, we've been trying to grow fruit down here.
It's good to know that something of the old hideaway still lives on.
Martel's pride and joy. It was a sapling when she rescued it from the rubble, but look at it now. All our hard work's finally paying off. I took it on, you see, after she died, and now the fruit's finally ready to eat. And not only is it ready, it's actually tasty. Sweet as you like, in fact. She bred the bitter right out of it.
Impressive. And welcome news to more than a few, I'd say.
I thought this first harvest could go to the curse breakers, on account of all they do for the hideaway. You couldn't take them some, could you? Seems better them coming from you.
It'll be nice being the bearer of good news for a change.
Oh, thank you. She always had a soft spot for that lot, see? And once they've had their share, I'll see to it that everyone else gets some. Here you go. Martel apples, they're called, in honor of her memory. You hear that, Martel? Today's finally the day.
It's not the...
Well, I must say that this new hideaway is sort of interesting looking, but boy, do I hate the way it's laid out. This is going to be fun going back and forth through here over and over and over. Jigoku, it has been a real thrill, honestly. I understand why some people are hesitant about it, but I think once you give it a proper chance, it's not as bad as some people are making it out to be. Now, Jigoku, I'm a huge fan of ease, and I have been telling all of my friends and followers that if you like the modern ease games, especially like the last 3 that have come out, I think that you would enjoy this quite a bit. I find a lot of similarities in how it operates and how the gameplay is to that.
You two look like you could use something to eat. Here, courtesy of Martel.
Martel. Now, where have I heard that name before?
Weren't she the girl from the Furrows?
Course she was. An odd sort, that one. Loved plants more than people.
Aye, and brave as a bane might. Remember when she ran back into the hideaway to collect them trees when Titan attacked? Wait,
These aren't those apples, are they? Well, I'll be. She'd have been proud, and rightly so. Thank you, Sid.
Understandable. 15 was only really great once they released that final Royal Edition. I would say, especially combat-wise, that's the most notable part. But I think that the way that this game plays and the way that it works is what they wanted 15 to be. This feels like an evolution. I'm not trying to completely sell you on it, but at the same time, if you enjoyed 15 at all but wish it had been cooked a little bit longer, I feel like this is what they were trying to do.
A gift from the backyard. For your service.
Blimey, these take me back. I haven't seen a hideaway apple since. Old Sid was the only one who could stomach the things. He'd nab them right from the branch, make Martel livid. Not that anyone could stay mad at the man for long.
That sounds like the Sid I knew, all right.
Planning on keeping that lot to yourselves, were you? Hang on. These aren't Martels, are they? I'm glad to see someone carried on what she started. Can't have been easy, not in the Deadlands. Reckon she'd be happy knowing all her hard work didn't go to waste. Clive, tell the lad down in the backyard to run some over for me, will you?
Not so much as a thank you. Well, I've got some manners at least. Thanks, Sid. You can leave the basket with me. I'll see that the others get their share. Oh, and give our compliments to the gardener, won't you?
That was the last of the apples. I should head to the backyard and pass along everyone's regards.
So Mather's all right.
You think it's all right to touch him?
Oops. You know, we'll say one thing. Mini-map. It's an idea I came up with on my own. Just try that out. But we'll get the layout mapped in our heads soon enough.
I hear there's trouble in those areas.
Oh yeah, understandable. That's why when it comes to 15, definitely the final edition, the Royal Edition, which had everything together, was what the game should have been. But you know, there's a whole lot that goes on in game development. Pressure, release dates, superiors demanding stuff. Like, I'm sure there's a lot that went into it because that was a very expensive game. Had a ton of marketing. So I'm sure they had to get it out there because it was definitely lacking at the beginning.
Sid built this place.
But hey, modern video games, right?
Did you come through the forge today?
And Jigoku, no need to apologize. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us. Don't worry. Most people that do speak English as their main primary language, they don't speak it very well at all either. So there's nothing to worry about there. You are totally fine.
The Cursebreakers send their thanks. And their compliments. They were clearly very fond of Martel.
They remembered her. After all these years. I suppose she was very kind, even to a tongue-tied lummox like me. You were one of the good ones, Martel. Why did you have to die? She put everything into her work. She wasn't going to rest until we had fruit sweet enough to enjoy. And now we do. When she died, I named a sapling after her. And now it's a full-grown tree. Martel lives on through the fruit it bears.
And through you. Her dream would have died with her, had you not kept it alive. That's something to be proud of.
I didn't do anything really, but thank you. You're kinder to me than I deserve.
By the way, Otto's expecting some of your crop. And I wouldn't mind some of it either, if that's not too much to ask.
Of course not. I'll see that you're both well provided for. They like your fruit, Martel. Isn't that wonderful? I'd say it's about time we planted you some siblings, don't you think?
Oh yeah, Snugglefry. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry that things went awry last night. Out of my control, ISP stuff. But I enjoyed what I got to play. That one issue was the only thing that really stood out. Other than a few, like, when you get items and you have descriptors of what to do and how they operate, maybe a little more detail on some things that we figured out along the way. But once again, I didn't get all the way through it, so I haven't seen everything that you have to offer. But that was my only feedback that I have from the bit that we did. The other thing I was going to say about Brazil, well, you see, in Brazil for a long time, there was no modern gaming. Like around the era of the Genesis Super Nintendo, that was it for a long period of time. The #1 system in Brazil for many, many, many years was the SMS, the Sega Master System, and bootlegs, and bootleg consoles as well. So that is what a lot of people were brought up on, was retro style pixel art gaming. Even during the time of 32, 64-bit and beyond, people were still playing the SMS and other systems like it. So that's something that a lot of people have an affinity for there, so it's very popular. Bootleg Neo Geo cabinets, yeah man. Snugglefry, if you decide to do that, Portuguese would be a very smart idea. Yeah, definitely. All right, gonna double check here one more time, see if we missed anything before we move on to the next part. Let's see here. Nah, we're good for now. Let's go. Well, don't forget, Snuggle, that if you go through and do a proper translation with AI, you can get further help through ChatGPT for translation stuff too. And then, of course, having humans is a big help.
I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
And wasn't it Sid who said that matters such as these are best left to dominance? Especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
My pleasure. If you have anything in the future that you want to work on that you'd like to share, just let me know.
I always knew that I would return one day. Return to Ironhome.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
We will face it together then.
To the end.
Come on.
How far do you think your mother's reach extends? Will we find the same tragedy in the south as we did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely. Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Port Isolde. We visit as many as we can and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Amber.
Remember, always save twice for good luck. Are we rooting for them? Yeah, I like a nice, clean, simple romance, you know? So I ship Clive and Jill. I say we do it. The gameplay is very smooth. It's sort of, like I mentioned before, the ease thing. I would say sort of a modern ease mixed with Devil May Cry. A lot of people have been saying DMC, and I get why. And it feels very good. And it's not super deep and complicated. You do have plenty of options to work with, but it's more fun than anything. It doesn't feel like a chore to battle, and that's very welcome. I would say my only problem, and it's not even a huge issue because of all the options and equipment you get. If you are a person that likes to grind in an RPG, like if you like to get yourself up to level 99 or beyond as soon as possible, It is a slog to try to do that in this game. But you're pretty OP for the most part. I've only had a couple of times where I've been very close to death. And a lot of that's been because I didn't understand the enemy I was fighting. So, it's been very fun. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. Gulping, I appreciate that, man. I do on occasion play a modern game or two. It's pretty few and far between, but I do. And Liz, thank you very much. I did see that you made that new account, and I appreciate the follow and you hanging out with us, and I appreciate the support, because I know having to set up a new account anywhere is just another time that you're not going to get back, you know?
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you! I think we're loyalists.
Jill, look.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her, that she might rise once again from the ashes to welcome a new dawn. 'Twould be a pity to make examples of you all for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, your lordship. You shall have our full cooperation.
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the miller's son?
Yeah, using the icon stuff and all of that definitely becomes much more important as you progress. But it was fun to just do normals for a bit. I try to get away with it here and there, but there are some enemies you just need to get it out of the way.
I ain't got much, but what's mine is yours for a price. Keep to the roads now.
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There have been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even say a Black Shield was murdered. The Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits.
Jigoku, no need to worry. And if you were having issues with making a new account, when I'm live, usually it works out better. I'm not really sure what that's about, but there are some issues here and there with the new site. But if you ever want to give it a try again while I'm live, usually it goes well then. But thanks for checking out the YouTube. Once again, we just released our first video the other day. We're doing live streams like we are right now, continuing the Final Fantasy 16 playthrough. I figured since I want to play this seems like a perfect opportunity to do that and broaden our reach a little bit at the same time. So thanks to all of you, because every follow, like, it means a lot. Like if you like a video, you like a short, any of that, you leave a comment, it actually really helps the channel a lot moving forward in each and every way, no matter where I'm at. So thank you again.
We're going hunting for outlaws.
You seen him, didn't you? I'm sorry. The Black Shields. Just now. You seen him, didn't you? At least I think there was Black Shields. Can't say I ever saw one before.
Was this the first time they visited the village?
What do you think? Amber's the arse end of nowhere. And they thought we might be harboring firebrands. Huh. If only we were. I might have turned him in and become a Black Shield myself.
You don't think these firebrands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
Yeah, my biggest problem with Ramos mechanics is it interrupts the flow. Like the basic first slot attack that you can do that you have initially, it's just like a ground pound, a Terry Bogard power wave, if you will. That's fine. Everything else, not a big fan of it. And I haven't upgraded any of it at all, so right now the damage level is abysmal. And I still have plenty of other stuff that I want to upgrade first before I do anything else with that, so much love to Sid. Great version of Sid. Really enjoyed having him around, but those powers, man. Proto Shield, what's up, my friend? Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you.
Greetings, friend. We are travelers.
I know that. What do you want?
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers who were here earlier.
Don't you go telling these strangers a thing. I speak for the people of this village, and we have nothing more to say to you. You are to leave Amber and never come back.
May I at least ask why?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us all in grave danger. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift. But as long as we keep our heads down and pay our tributes, we are left alone. Some might call it submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, then I will gladly submit. This village will not become another East Pole.
Then we shall be on our way. These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right?
Sorry, It's nothing. We still don't know who the Black Shields are looking for.
Well, whoever they are, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosari would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find them before the Imperials do? Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.
This pass will take us through the mountains.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
Ever since the apology, we've seen more and more of these echoes.
Is it breaking in? The mother crystals collapse?
I have an idea. You're going to like it.
There's it for me, boy!
AV, welcome back. Hopefully it wasn't too painful being out there in the real world. Gross. Aw, Are these some things that are sleepy? Time to wake them up.
This one. Over here. Stay down.
Yeah, I was reading about the air advisory stuff going on earlier. It is insane that all of that is still going on. Frustrating. I can't even imagine what it must be like to be in the midst of it.
More of my mother's men. You're finished. Time to fight. Get him. Nice try.
All right. I don't know what that was, but we did it. We touched a thing. All right, before we get swamped, give me just one moment for a quick break, and I will be right back.
Hey!
買わなきゃハドソン。バイハドソン？行ってきますと桃太郎。急ぐばかりが人生じゃなし、コロコロ変わる目的地。人生楽ありゃ苦もあるさ。バクチ一筋敵は友。
なんだバカ野郎。買わなきゃハドソン。ワンダープロジェクト、チャイナプロジェクト、ワンダープロジェクト。画面の中に新しい友達。ワンダープロジェクト J 12月9日新発売エニックス。
三国志の真実、ここに結実。三国志4スーパーファミコンで12月9日新登場。光栄
この冬 X は進化する。ノンストップアクションロックマン X2 スーパーファミコンで発売中。カプコン。
激しく美しく、今戦士たちの戦いが始まり、果たして最強の戦士は誰なのか。セーラームーンスーパー場外乱闘主役争奪戦。
敵 帝国とは何か。皇帝の正体は今ヒーローチームバトルフォースが最強武装軍団に挑むスーパーファミコンザ・グレートバトル4バンプレスト。
友とライバルと、そして自分に決着をつける。さらに進化したビジュアルバトル、ナムコスーパーファミコン悠々白書特別編登場。
バイハドソン。
All right. Let's see here. But I've still got a little bit. I've still got a little bit of time. You get off the phone talking to someone in a professional manner, and then you gotta change back, tongue-tied. So let's try to wrap this up if we can.
Over here!
Well, consider me a little bit surprised. This area actually feels kind of like a proper dungeon a little bit. Who knew? In a Final Fantasy game? I'm shook.
This one, you're finished.
Blood, Clive.
And still wet.
You were told to stay in your homes.
The Black Shields.
You know who we are. And still, you would bear your steel. Why then, we owe you our thanks. You have saved us the trouble of an interrogation. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these, our swords we swear.
Say that again. I'll show you a true shield to Brasario. Get him!
tell me what I want and the end will be swift. Who are you looking for?
Why, you. We come bearing a message. Your friends have been found. The branded you freed from our camps. They await you in Ordil. Guardians of the Flame.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry.
Am I the only one that does that? I come up to a door to open, and I'm like, press X. Oh, a little jumpy? Okay, alright, that's fine. Alright.
Find something, boy. Death.
Found her.
This was my mother's doing.
But why? Why would anyone?
I don't know. I never truly understood her. But this...
Oh, Clive.
I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it. We should go.
Yes.
We can't leave them here like this.
We won't. But if the Black Shields have made it this far south, they may already be in Port Isolde.
We're approaching Buick Bridge. Though I doubt the Empire would let us cross over to Rosalith.
Attack! This one! You're finished!
Didn't happen to come by way of Oldhill, did you? Saw some Imperials clad in black making for the docks just the other day. The next morn, you couldn't see the sun for all the ravens.
I did, Mummy. I could hear him shouting from down the road.
How am I to sell my wares?
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
I'm hungry.
You'll find no succor to the South Travellers, nor beyond the Buet. The Empire has seen fit to banish us from our own land.
Let's go. Be safe. Get him! I've heard talk of farewell. Fly, Ambrosia.
The Lazarus. What happened to this place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle fared better. That's the main gate. And it looks like we're not the only ones hoping to get in.
Let us pass! My children are starving! Have mercy! Voice-rinsed dogs they are! You can't ignore us forever!
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep!
Better out there than in here!
Oh, good enough,
Fuck off! Find the chinless bastards! Those crystals belong to us all! I said, where were you, filth? Back to your stalls! Cut you down where you stand! Destroy it!
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in. I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. The Lazarus. We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure. The entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
As long as it is abandoned.
The good news is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for. This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Not abandoned then.
Oi! Visitors!
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
The blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died. Huh? Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
We can speak inside.
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
AV, enjoy your tacos. I will see you next time. Thank you again for hanging out.
Aye, the foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord, but in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son.
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we.
Make ready.
This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
Show them that the fire in our back up there.
Allow me to tend to your needs, my lord. As you wish, my lord. Of course, my lord. Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buick Bridge, and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company. I doubt I could have done this on my own.
But until we arrived, that was your plan. You haven't changed a bit.
So Wade, the bearers from Oldale have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will find peace.
There is but one thing which will grant them peace. Putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
Well, fine, be that way. Stay.
We'll keep them from the bridge. Don't you worry.
You better. May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village. We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
Come on.
Go along now. There they are. On your command, my lord.
What is it now? I told you!
We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame.
Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Shields?
Yes.
Then come! Die along with your flame! For Azaria!
For Azaria!
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear.
This one.
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight their battles for.
Over here!
More dragons! Worms. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point.
that this land is in dire need of cleansing. It's over.
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud! My, Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps. Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it, as we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die, and her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the gallows, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that one wrong move might prove his downfall. It is why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience.
especially since you're famously dead.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it, and those who love Rosaria will know where your loyalties lie.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you again. Unless you deserve it. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever anything you need.
I know. Go on now, my lord.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rossfield died long ago.
Emil, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated.
For uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue. You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to Her Serene Holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once more.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Maddo in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint and the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford.
So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster.
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
Your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass. This will be fun.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she?
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that Lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Hello, Chelsea. Welcome in. Good to see you.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Now kiss her.
Thank you, Clive.
Come on, you fool.
I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
Only the Founder knows what awaits us in the Iron Kingdom. But Vivian could probably make an educated guess.
What's wrong, Chartreux? You don't want to see me play through the whole game at a light, brisk pace? This is all we do now.
That monster's taken quite a liking to Lady Karen.
He's not a monster. He'd take a liking to you too if you gave him as many nuts as Nan does.
Oh yeah, we're making headway. Okay, all jokes aside, this is a perfect spot to take a little break before we get into the next part. So for everybody that just showed up a little bit ago, thank you for coming by and hanging out. Make sure to check out the YouTube, check out the green place, check out the purple place. Do it all. Come to the Discord, yada yada yada. You know the deal. I'm going to wrap things up, and I will be playing this again very soon, and we will see what happens next. I'm just waiting for the kiss, you know? But maybe you make a good point. You got to get rid of the monster first, and then a little smooch. Clive, don't cross your arms at that. You know you thought about it. But first, a double save for good luck. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be getting back into it soon. I'll let you know when we go back live, and it'll be on to the next chapter, the next part of the playthrough. So thanks again for the love. Thank you for all the follows today. Very much appreciated. And once again, a friendly reminder, not only to follow and keep those notifications on, but if you see an upload for a short or a video or anything at all, just make sure to check it out for a little bit. Give it a like, leave a comment. It means a lot to me. Very, very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this thing rolling and get on out of here, and I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care of yourselves, and peace.